Let me just pop open the agenda. Okay, yeah, pretty busy agenda, so I get right into it. First thing, yeah, diversifying cat herders fund. Charles is not on the call, but one thing I wanted to bring up is that maybe we, instead of holding just DAI, we switch to like half USDC, just because as we've seen recently, there's like a lot of volatility with DAI. So maybe just to like hedge that risk, we put half in USDC, half in DAI. We still haven't moved, I think, or have we moved to multi-collateral DAI? I'm pretty sure we haven't. Yeah, I guess I'm curious.
Supposed to. I think we did.
I thought we did, but I can go check real quick.
Okay, yeah, Hudson, if you can check. And I guess, yeah, I'm curious what people think about the idea of, say, having half the funds in USDC. It seems like it's kind of the stable coin with the most traction, aside from Tether, but I'm not sure we want that. Yeah, what do people think about
USDC
this?
is Tether?
No, USDC is like the Circle stable coin.
Okay.
Tether is TUSD.
Exactly.
USDT is some other coin.
It's
and
also USDT is also Tether, I think. So USDC is the Circle coin.
And just plain old USD is Coinbase's stable coin, right? Because
No, that's USDC. That's the same.
USDC is Coinbase's?
Yes.
Because I just got paid $100 yesterday, and I don't know what it was for sure. And I don't know if it's a 1.0 meeting or a 2.0 meeting, or it sounds like it wasn't a cat herders meeting, but yeah, it was USD, which is Coinbase's, which my understanding is it's different than USDC, because the symbol is USD, it's not USDC.
That's if you're on Coinbase, I think. I think outside of Coinbase, it is known as USDC, but I'm not a trader.
Okay,
yeah,
so
and similarly, if you go on Bitfinex, then the USD, the Tether is basically marked as USD. Yeah.
Okay,
so
because
Netscan
Netscan told me that I received USD and it didn't have a C or a T or anything, and so I was just interesting. But
yeah, what I'm proposing is we move half the fund to Coinbase's stablecoin, whatever it's called. It's not just Coinbase, it's actually through a consortium which is led by Circle, but Coinbase is kind of the biggest player there.
That sounds great to me. And also, most of our stuff is in Psi. We have 216 or so DAI and 6,000 Psi. Okay,
so maybe, and the challenge with the DAI migration is that we basically need to move all the funds to one person's account. I think we probably have enough people on this call to decide if that's something we want to do. Like, I'm fine if that's you, Hudson. Like, I'll approve the multi-sig transaction for you to move all our Psi to your wallet, and then for you to transfer, I guess, half of that to DAI and half of that to USDC. But I'm curious what other people think.
I don't know. I might just run off with it. I'm just kidding.
It feels like, yeah, you kind of have like the most valuable reputation to like not screw us.
Yeah, that's actually true. That might be true.
You know, like,
well, no, a lot of us have good reputations, but like that would be the ultimate, like getting away, like giving up all your reputation for $6,000. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. Does anyone disagree with that? Because it's just much more technically complicated to do it if we don't do it that way.
I mean, the truth is, I'm personally not so into it. I can't say I vehemently disagree with it, but I do sort of prefer DAI than to diversification. I do think that DAI is going to stabilize, but that's for the USDC part. With regards to moving the Psi over, that I agree with.
Okay, so you agree that we should all move it to Hudson's wallet, have him do the transfers, and then move it back.
Yes.
But you have objections about the switching half to USDC, right?
Not strongly, but yes.
Okay.
I kind of want to see what Maker does, because I think Maker was going to move part of their. I don't know the
They
words.
were going to collateralize.
Yes, they were going to collateralize to USDC. Yes.
Oh, really? Wow.
Not all of it, but like a portion of it. So if it's good enough for Maker, then I'm feeling comfortable enough with it. And also the fact that it's centralized and like I think there's a back door in it. So like most things. So I feel like if something happens to it, like they would just create another stable coin that is pegged that they would just give to everybody at the certain point they had that or something.
Yeah, so that's I think my reason why I like it is they're just two very different risk profiles. Like I think the backdoor is both a positive and a negative. But at least it's very different from the like risks of MakerDAO. So it feels like we're kind of hedged, you know, if MakerDAO, like if we lost all our money, it means basically MakerDAO's gone bust and, you know, like Circle did something shady. And that feels like it's quite unlikely relative to like either of those things happening.
I personally am in favor of diversifying our fund. That is certainly going to reduce our risk of whatever is there. Its cryptocurrency is not like all the time stable. So I am in favor of diversifying.
Oh, do we need to be recording this? Oh, it is recording. Never mind. I didn't see the little notification.
So maybe I guess what I propose here is like, it seems like we have kind of rough consensus on both those things. Maybe we wait, you know, a few days that the recording is out, just share it on the channel, give other people who are not on the call, give people who are not on the call the chance to, you know, chime in and say like there isn't any like objections by next Monday. We just do it all. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
So
Okay.
William, it sounded to me like William was saying he was for not diversifying and keeping everything in DAI. Is that true, William?
It's true, but I see that there's more opinions that are for it, and I'm not amazingly against it. So I definitely agree with that proposal of giving it a few days, see who else chimes in. If there's not a significant amount of disapproval and no vehement disapproval, then I would agree that the consensus is to go ahead.
Yeah, that's the exact same way I feel. In other words, I wouldn't mind keeping it all in DAI, but yeah, that's just my opinion, and it sounds like there's a consensus for the other point of view. So,
And we need to figure out what percentage is going to be diversified, like if it's going to be half and half or 25, 75 or what.
Would that make you more comfortable, I guess, William and Brett? Like if it was, say, 2/3, 1/3, and 2/3 in DAI? Does that change?
It
Yeah, the
definitely
more
make me feel
DAI, the
more
better.
comfortable, yeah.
So say we, like just to kind of nail this down, I'm fine with like 2/3 in DAI, 1/3 in USDC. Is anyone opposed to that? Okay.
I'm not.
So yeah, let's record that as like the action item and give other people the chance to chime in. But yeah, it feels, yeah, if we have broad agreement on that, then let's do it.
Yeah, it's good.
And who's doing notes today, and who's going to record that?
Good question. Who's doing notes
I'm
today?
doing the notes today, Sachin, but
Okay.
I don't know who is recording the call though.
It's recording to Zoom, to the cloud, so we should be able to share a recording after. Yeah.
Oh, one thing
Thanks.
about that, are the previous calls going to be released?
No, actually, we could not access to the previous call, although me and Tim have been provided the access to the Zoom account, but we are not able to do that. So this is the first time after we have been provided access, and we are hoping that we should be able to see the calls from this point forward. For the previous calls, I believe a person having the email address should be able to access that. We are still working on it.
Okay.
Cool. So that's it, I think, on the first option. Second thing on the table was paying a part-time cat herders coordinator in chief. I know we discussed this in the chat a little bit. Pooja was kind of unanimously like viewed as the best person for this. I guess, like, yeah, first off, does anyone have any comments on that in general? And then we can get into the specifics of like how we'd like to pay and all that. So I guess maybe first question, does everyone agree that Pooja makes sense for this?
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. And then I guess second question, you know, how much and how should we pay for this? Like Pooja, Hudson and I had an email thread where we were saying it's probably kind of a 20 hours a week job, if I recall correctly. And I think Pooja, you had like a pretty wide range that you found between like $15 and $75 per hour. Yeah, I don't know what.
Oh, and to be clear, everyone, what that means is the range for someone in that position in the industry today is between $15 an hour and $75 an hour. That wasn't like any request by anybody.
Yeah.
That's a really hard one. Does anyone have like a good method, or does anyone deal with HR hiring stuff that knows how to calculate how much to pay, or do we just do market rate like somewhere in the middle?
I think it's depending on how much funds we can get, because
yeah,
I'm not sure if we should draw down our balance to pay for Pooja, but the question is, where can we get funding? Can we get $75 an hour from someone? So to me, that's the question, is where can we get money? And it's not how much we should pay Pooja, as much as we could possibly get, but we have to have a source for that money.
Yeah, good call. I think that Moloch DAO, we should do a proposal on there, and then I can kind of talk to some of the Moloch DAO members and just say, does this amount make sense, and see what they've been giving out lately. Not to say we should take advantage of like if they're giving out a lot or not, but more to say for a similar, like however many hours are dedicated by people who've done similar stuff like write-ups or project management style stuff, what they were given hourly, and see if there's any correlation we can draw from that.
In the meantime, I also talked to Ken from the Ethereum Foundation. I watched a video that was there for the HCC, and they were talking about ecosystem support program. So I just wanted to get his, rough idea about like how does it think that ECH should be applying for fund for the activities that they are doing. And like I kind of gave him that we are taking up something with the EIP and other process that we are trying to do. We are having a kind of roadmap that we think that we should be implementing to help out the community and all. And he responded back saying that it sounds like a good idea to request for a fund that is for community support, but he would like to know more details about it. And yes, that is there. That can also be there an option. What does other people think about requesting from the ESP, the Ecosystem Support Program funding?
Yeah, that sounds good. I can be in that conversation with Ken. Whoever you're still talking to him currently, or going to restart that conversation soon, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, I just messaged him on Twitter. I DM'd him after his talk in HCC, and he responded back that he would like to know more. So I'm planning to start an email thread with him, but I just wanted to share this with the team because I just received response yesterday only. So I wanted to just get confirmation from the team and then go ahead and start email thread for this discussion.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
So that can be one option, and we should also keep the option of Moloch DAO open as well.
And I think it's probably worth trying to talk with Moloch DAO and see, because I know they've paid people for like some project management and coordination stuff in the past. So it might be worth, just talking with Moloch and seeing if they have some interesting data on like, on what's like a reasonable rate and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so that'll be next steps. I think me and Pooja can cover that. Who else wants to be involved? No one does. No one has to be involved extra. Just making sure.
Yes, that's the two of you.
Sounds good.
Cool. Next thing on the agenda is the EIP-IP. Any updates, comments on that?
I forgot what we did last meeting, so I have nothing.
That may be like one of the Google form shared by Edson. Edson, would you like to throw some light on that?
Yeah, I created a Google forum. It's in the Telegram group. I would appreciate some feedback before it's pushed out to people. It's for identifying problems with the current EIP process.
Yeah, I read through that. Looks great.
Yep.
I can post it in the characters as well. Actually, let me do that right now.
It sounds like we're moving towards minor tweaks to the system rather than just do one fell swoop, rewrite everything. Is that, am I hearing that right?
We went back and forth on that. I forgot where we landed.
So I think we stopped the cleanup process for past EIPs because we were potentially thinking of doing major changes, or
Yep,
we didn't want to
did
be
that.
close to that, is what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this Google form is basically to collect information from the people involved actively in the development or the process change, or who may be giving the EIPs, suggesting EIP for the process. So we are just trying to collect information about what challenges they are facing and like if they would like to get involved. So it's very simple, basic questionnaire, and it will help us gather that information, kind of survey feedback you can take it.
I'm taking a look at it now. Do you want to add maybe if people have specific suggestions? Or are you specifically leaving that out?
So for now, I just left that out just to get an understanding of, and I left the other two open-ended in terms of problems, frustrations, and fears. So I was gonna derive suggestions from those.
Okay. And it could be you also specifically want to leave that out. It could be right now. It's just more the what are the problems and then solutions later kind of a thing too.
Yeah, it could be that. I mean, I can add in suggestions if that's what everyone is thinking, because it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I would think that was a good idea, but just me.
Yeah, even I think that would be a good idea because people may not be like, interested to get responding to one question again and again. If we are trying to get information for the EIP thing process, improvement of the EIP process, I think it would be a good idea to collect the suggestions as well. And then we can, brainstorm what stands good, bad in the meeting.
Yeah, I can add that.
Cool. Anything else on this? Okay, next one, events and conferences. So William, you had the ETC write-up. You want to give a couple comments on that?
Yeah, sure. So Tim, Helena, and I were part of the ran whatever, the Cat Herders Workshop by ETCC. So afterwards, I made a bit of a write-up. The focus had really been how to onboard people into Ethereum, and also I would say a bit of a focus on what the Cat Herders are doing and how to be a part of it. One thing I really took out of it was a lot of information about onboarding newcomers to Ethereum, how to make that process better. So I've been trying to write that up. I'm putting a link to a Google Doc in the chat now. I'd appreciate comments or feedback from anyone. I know that Tim, Pooja, and Hudson have already been over the document. I'm also interested in publishing it through the Cat Herders Medium. So whatever comments there might be on that, I'd love to hear.
How many people attended that workshop?
Probably ballpark 10, 15, I think. Is that about right, Tim?
Yeah, that sounds
Cool.
right. Yeah, and it wasn't like a huge attendance, but people were quite engaged, so it was good.
Cool.
I would suggest to have the, the presentation link as well in the document that you're trying to share, that people will get more visibility of what kind of workshop we had there at the HCC?
A link, I mean, it wasn't videoed, so I'm not sure what I guess I could link to slides maybe?
Yeah.
And yeah, I should do that. So I'd need a link from you probably, Tim. I think.
Sure, yeah, I'll send that over.
Okay, great.
And like we can keep it open for like today, and if everything goes good, and we may publish it by tomorrow, 9 a.m.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other comment, okay, about the...
Yeah, Consensus 2020 was the other one.
Yeah. So Hudson, if you would like to...
Sure. On the let me pull up the agenda real quick. Did it just say Consensus 2020 or?
Yeah, I mean, so
yeah. So basically, it is no longer an in-person conference; it's virtual. And according to the notes I took, which are here, there's going to be a few different. You can think of them as tracks, I guess. There's like a foundations track and some other kind of track, and foundation seems more like the kind of the basics, or like the high level stuff people should know about. It might be ETH 2.0 or DeFi or that kind of stuff. There's also a part where there might be a like someone from Ethereum interviewing someone from a different protocol or blockchain like technology about something that they both have. So like what I suggested to them was maybe having Ethereum and Zcash on the same call, talking about privacy and security and how that differs between both technologies. Like we're a layer 2 privacy and security based solution, and they have a protocol layer 1 based privacy and security solution. So that's another piece of it. A lot of this that I'm saying is kind of not in stone yet as far as like how it's going to be set up. So we're waiting for them to get back to us of what they need, and then we're going to facilitate finding speakers for it. As far as Ethereum cat herders being specifically like in any of the talks, I think it'd be great if we were in one, if it was general enough, but what it's looking like is it's going to be specific enough, and we're going to have to source speakers who are more specialized in topics that we might not get to speak as a group, but we will help facilitate finding these people. So that's still an important role. I just don't know if we'll be actually in the thing. Like when this was in person, we were thinking about getting a booth or maybe getting one donated or whatever. And that's, since it's not in person anymore, that's not going to happen. So that's mainly where the cat herders were going to show themselves as Ethereum cat herders and help out at the general basic level of Ethereum education. But now it's probably not going to be that.
Yeah, so this time maybe we would be looking for 8 to 12 topics and speakers to speak about Ethereum. They are allocating us around 2 to 3 hours. It's all going to be virtual, so we may be having presentations, pre-recorded videos. So in the sheet that I just shared, we are just trying to collect the topics and maybe reaching out to the specific team and speaker. And what I would be looking here is like suggestions from more topics that could be very helpful for the community to present the current state of Ethereum plus the development of the protocol and things that would encourage people to adopt Ethereum in general. Mass adoption of Ethereum and at the enterprise level as well. So this is just the sheet that we are looking for more ideas. Anybody can suggest there.
Yeah, your sheet is view only, by the way, Pooja. The link you just shared. But yeah, I think this is good. I'll have a look and I'll make sure to add some suggestions.
Okay, sure. I mean, the previous task that we were doing, this may not be valid anymore. They were having 3 tracks and everything, that is also there, but people can ignore that. So the conversation that we had yesterday, I tried to like write it down here, and we'll do that. And yes, I'll go ahead and change that setting. I'm sorry for that.
No worries. Yeah. Cool. Anything else on events? Okay. Next one, YouTube, Ethereum Foundation YouTube jacking.
Oh, I'm muted. Okay, there we are. Sorry. I have from the Ethereum Foundation lawyer a partially redacted sheet that has all of our trademark information. So if someone wants to go through and start putting takedown requests on channels, I think you have to go to like the channel and then go to report, and then you say, I have a trademark, and then you put some of the trademark information and upload a document and then send it, and hopefully that works. I haven't done it yet. If I get time this week, I'll try it and see how long it takes to take one down. But if anyone's interested in spending some time in doing that, just let me know on Telegram or whatever, or on the Cat Herders getter that is connected to Telegram, and I can send you the document.
I can help out. One thing I noticed is something around January, December, YouTube changed their bots to allow a lot of these like scam streams to happen. I've been looking recently, and it looks like a lot of them have been not streaming, which means that YouTube has changed their bots again to filter them out.
That's good. But yeah, that's the only update I have on that. And it sounds like, Edson, thank you for volunteering for that one.
So do we want to keep this for future? And I think it is almost resolved, so we can drop this from future item.
Let's keep it one more meeting to get an update, and then if it's going well, we'll drop it.
Okay.
Okay. Next thing was Ethereum live streams on Twitch, question mark.
I can talk about that as well. So I brought up this idea in Marketing DAO. Turns out Marketing DAO was the wrong place to bring it up. But the idea was the streams that are going on right now for the Ethereum Foundation and possibly the Cat Herders, and live events, if they're streamed, to be streamed on Twitch. Twitch is the largest streaming platform that's dedicated to streaming. So more streaming happens there than on YouTube, from what I'm aware of. And most people who are doing stuff on YouTube that want to get into streaming actually use YouTube to publicize their Twitch and move people over to Twitch. I think it's a good idea now because Twitch has a science and technology section. There's a lot of brands on Twitch like Adidas, Coca-Cola, and for tech, I think there's Twilio right now, which is a way to create a CLI app using Node.js. But I think it might be a useful idea to expand just free marketing that Ethereum can have. To put the live streams on Twitch, and then Twitch isn't a good place to save the videos, so it would actually add an extra step where the stream would be on Twitch, the video would be saved automatically, but it need to be downloaded and re-uploaded to YouTube. So that would be one negative.
I can look into a way to stream to YouTube and Twitch at the same time, because I think that's possible.
I think it's called Restream, the service.
Yep, that's it. I was looking at that the other day, actually, for something else.
Yeah, but I think it would be a good way to expand Ethereum's reach and possibly reach more people or inform people who are already interested, who are using that platform.
Cool. It looks like it's free, or at least for our purposes, as long as we're just doing Twitch and YouTube. Okay, so yeah, let's keep that on the agenda. And so what was the, I think I might have missed this part. What was going to be streamed there? Like community calls and stuff and educational stuff?
So yeah, so community calls are already streamed. If it would be very impactful, for my opinion, to stream events. So I don't know what events we can stream. I know like ETH Global definitely would be worth streaming if we can get that on there in a streamable format. But just talks. But yeah, right now mostly what we're already streaming, which is meetings.
Cool.
Oh, I lost the mute button. Okay. Next one was cat herders, video processing and meeting notes. And there were 3 sub-points. The first was Ethereum 2.0. I don't know who put this, if you want to go in more detail.
Yeah, I can talk about that. The Ethereum 2.0 meeting, earlier what we were doing is like doing the notes, submitting it on the Ethereum 2.0 PM repo, and mentioning that this particular cat header has been assigned to do the notes, and that was given the bounty for that note taking, but it's not been happening for, I guess, past 5 meetings. Earlier, Brett was taking care of that. When he left, he told me to reach out to somebody named I think Scott Moore. He is taking care of it from the Gitcoin side to assign the bounty for that. But this bounty is not being up. That's the number 1 issue, so that we cannot apply for that. Number 2, we are mentioning like every time in the meeting, we are mentioning that this particular is assigned and CCing to that person, but I'm not getting proper response how to move ahead. I tried to reach out through the email. So I would like anybody like you, Hudson, or somebody who is knowing more people in the Ethereum 2.0 to reach out and let us know, help us with the process. It's kind of stuck. We are not getting any responses properly.
Yes, I can help with that because I've talked to Scott and Danny before about this. And I think we came to some resolution, but it was months ago. I'm looking through the chat history right now to see, like, oh, here. Yeah, I'll need to find it. This was from a long time ago. So yeah, I'll find that, keep it on the agenda, and Pooja, talk to me after the meeting. And I will find that chat and we'll figure it out.
Okay. So the other 2 sub points were like, we are looking for more note takers for EIP meeting. Right now we are just 3. So if anybody is interested to participate in EIP meetings and take the notes, please do let me know. And the third thing was just the general guideline for meeting notes. We are mostly following it, but it is for the new people who would like to join us.
Yeah, I don't know how we could get more people like that are not part of the current cat herders. Yeah.
We can just send a shout out for it.
Yeah, we can do that. So I just wanted to first check with the present members if anybody is interested. If not, then we'll do it in the community Gitter and we'll see if more people turn up.
Yeah, it would be if we had, I'm not sure if it was mentioned in the cat herders thing at ECC, but it would be cool if we would, whenever we have those events, if we try to recruit some of the people attending to be note takers.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm pretty sure we mentioned it. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we mentioned it.
Cool.
When is the next EIP meetings? Not tomorrow, is it? It's in another week?
Next week, next Wednesday, not tomorrow.
Yes.
I don't know what my schedule is going to look like next week. You can be in touch with me a little closer in though, and I might have a better idea. I might be available.
Okay, sure.
Cool. Anything else on the notes? Okay. Cat Herder's website update.
For this, I talked to Helena, and she was in touch with Hugo to get it updated, but unfortunately things are not really well at that side. So she said that maybe in a couple of weeks, if everything starts moving along, then she would be again getting in touch with Hugo and trying to get that updated. But in the meanwhile, I have a question about it. I try to, get the answer about it. Like, is it just to be changed at the GitHub, or how is it to be done? Because I see that codes are there available at GitHub. I'm not just able to, find the server where it is actually there. So, I mean, if anybody has any idea or how we can do that, so I would be willing to take up this responsibility going forward, but I just need to know where it is.
Yeah, I don't have an answer to that myself.
Okay, then I will try to get in touch with Helena again, and with her help with Hugo, because Hugo was the last person doing this for us. So I'll try to get the process in place for this.
Cool. Discuss and close the ECH GitHub issues /PR. So let me just check. Okay, so on the Cat Herders PM, there's nothing new since January. Is there anything there we want to look at?
I think it was from James' side, so I may
Yeah, they're all from James, basically. So I think we can wait for him to update those, unless anybody has an update on either one of them. And then on the funding side, there's two that have been open, one for all core devs for Pooja and one for EIPIP from Edson. So we should probably fund those ASAP.
One more thing I would like to mention here, like for the previous all core dev meetings call.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That was 3 hours, and as Tim proposed that it should be paid double, because usually all core dev meeting is 1.5 hours at the max. So we are just proposing to be paid the double amount for this. Just want others' opinion. Yeah.
And does that come out of Cat Herders funds?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm planning on giving Sachin $100, and I don't care for any more. So that's no big deal. I wouldn't worry about it. I'm just going to pay Sachin, saying thanks so much, Sachin, for your help, and that was great to have all the help. So I think we could just close this. I'm not worried about it.
Well, what do you mean by close this?
I'm not interested in getting paid is basically. So, I mean, we did the notes, Sachin, Jim, and myself, and I'm going to make sure Sachin get paid, and Jim and I don't really care to get paid. So unless someone else, yeah. So in other words, I think we could just not worry about doing $200 or whatever we need to do, but yeah.
Oh, because you would split it between 3 people already is what you're saying.
Right, and Jim and I will be fine if we don't get paid. So nobody. I'm just glad to have help from Sachin, and so I can pay. I'm going to pay him anyway, and then I assume we'll get paid eventually. But yeah.
So what I am I would like to raise here is, it's really very kind of you, Brent, that you mentioned that you would not be like much worried about that part, but I would like to make it a process. This time it was you and Jim, and Sachin helped out, but it may happen in future with other people, right? Any other cat herder who is taking notes. So the initial idea was like, if this meeting or any other meeting goes to the length of double the time they are supposed to, should we double the bounty for that? Should we pay double for that? So that is my general question here.
Oh yeah, in that case, I'm all for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should. You know, if you're fine, like kind of forfeiting that this time around, that's like your decision, and that's totally fair. But yeah, I think we should just agree that like if the meetings are twice as long, it's just fair to pay people twice as much. Like,
I'm down
yeah.
for that. Yeah. And that meeting was a doozy. It was super technical for the first hour and a half, and then it got really intense for the second hour and a half. So, yeah.
So if we have like a general consensus of that, so like for this particular meeting, if Brent, Jim, or Sachin, anybody of you would like to raise the issue there, I mean, create the issue there for funding, you can ask for $100 or $200. It's up to you. But going forward, if any meeting is extended to the time, double the time, we would be like requesting it for $200. If it makes sense to everybody.
Makes sense to me.
Yep.
Thank you.
And yeah, and I'll try to send out some payments for at least the first transactions for the 2 notes that are pending. Sorry about the delay, so I'll get those today.
Thank you, Tim.
Cool. So that was it for what was on the agenda. We have the review of the action items, but before we do that, is there anything else anybody wants to discuss?
Yeah, I'm just a little bit still confused. So Sachin needs to go and apply for that $100, and then Jim or I can apply also. So where do we do that?
Oh no, what you can do is like in the issue that you're gonna create.
Oh, the issue, okay. Oh, so we create an issue then.
Yeah, that we do all the time, like Ethereum-cat header/funding, where we create an issue. There you can create issue, request for 200 SAI, and put the 2 wallets where 100 SAI each should be, sent.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, could you send me the link of that?
It's already available in agenda number 9. If you see the second sub point.
I just
got it.
in the chat here.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, thanks for clearing that up. So Sachin, did you understand that?
Yeah, got it.
So yeah, so you'll go there and you'll create an issue so that you can get paid for that notes, and then Jim or I can do another one for the additional 200 if we want to. So.
Oh, no, that may create confusion. What we are trying to do here is like for every meeting, there is only one issue. So if you both want to be funded, please in that issue only mention the 2 parts. That would help.
Okay, got it. Cool. So yeah, we'll create one issue and we'll make sure Sachin's on that. And then if Jim and I want to add a second address, we'll add that to the same issue.
Correct. Because that's help in keeping track of like for what meeting we are paying how much. That would help in keeping track of. So one issue would be good there.
Got it. Cool. Thanks.
Okay. Anything else before we go to the action items? On to the action items then. So first one, Pooja will contact Helena to get an update on the cat herders website before the next meeting.
Yeah, like I just updated in the previous agenda item. So Helena is in touch with Hugo, and we should be hearing soon from them.
Okay, cool. Next one is ECH website to be updated to reflect the burden and difficulty bomb hard forks. I assume this is kind of related.
Sorry, like I wanted to make it a sub point. I don't know how it turns out to be.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So all that. So then the second one is pay for a part-time coordinator in chief. So we discussed that. Charles to write up a proposal that still hasn't been done, but I think we have the outcome in this call that we want to move everything to DAI and then move a third of that to USDC, and we'll just share that with people and wait to get their feedback. And then, I think the DAI saving contracts comes after that, so we can kind of decide that at a later date. And the final one was Lane to create a multi-sig transaction to reclaim the stake in DXDAO. I don't think that's been done. Is it worth it for somebody to ping Lane directly?
I could do it.
Cool. Yeah, so if you can ping Lane, that's great. And yeah, I guess that's it. Anything else anybody wants to discuss? Okay, then we all get 10 minutes back. I'll send the payments for the notes right now then, and I'll post a little thing in our Telegram to mention that people should check the next recording about moving your DAI to USDC. But yeah, thanks everybody.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so basically that Ethereum cat herder / funding, that's, so in other words, to get paid for EIP IP meetings, for cat herder meetings, and 1.x meetings. Is that true? But 2.0 are not there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Cool, thanks.
All right, cheers, everyone.
Cool, thanks everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah. See y'all.
Bye bye.